today is all about how to get a resilient tech team in place and how to do it really fast. Now, we're going to cover about 10 topics, and so the first one I want to talk about is what people often talk about is if I were to get a part-time person to help me with my technology function, what that would look like. And the first thing that I often hear is, well, if I have somebody part-time, surely they will not have a cultural fit for my business. And if you look at that clearly and carefully, what you'll think about is that in most environments, both corporate and small business, really the way you hire and the people that you find are already a cultural fit, because those are the people that you resonate with, those are the people that you want to work with, and those are the people that you would most likely approve to join your company. And whether somebody is part-time in your business or full-time in your business, the culture is what you set up, and it's the culture that you expect of the people that work with you. And so that's number one. Don't worry about cultural fit, whether you're hiring somebody part-time or full-time. If they're good and you've hired the right people, they'll be interested in your business culture and the way you work. Number two is that if you think about a family-friendly environment, then this is a great way to create a resilient team. Today, everyone wants to work from home, and it's a great way to improve retention of your staff, whether it's family-friendly or whether people want to work part-time or they want to work, say, 4 days a week and take Friday off so that they can spend time with their families. So that's about being family-friendly and improving the resilience of your team. Number three, ownership is self-serving. So what do I mean by this? Now, you've heard me talking about part-time and full-time resource and building your team out that way. But ownership is self-serving because we naturally think that if an individual joins our team as a full-time person, then, we've got them. So we've sort of shackled them to our business, and we wouldn't dare lose time from them or experience a moment where they're not dedicated to our business. And I feel that the problem there is not that you've necessarily thought about this in the wrong way. I think it's more about the fact that you've probably hired the wrong person. And if you hire the right person, whether they're full-time or part-time, they will be dedicated to your business. And you won't need to own people. This is not about owning people. And this is about having the freedom to grow a business where people appreciate what you're doing and help you in the way that you need them to help you. Number four, it's less risk. So if you want to structure a part-time person to work with you, then if you structure the contracts appropriately, then it's less risk. What we often think is that if we hire somebody full-time, we're going to have full control. But actually what invariably happens is we wind up with somebody that, if you're unlucky, that doesn't suit your business, and you've now employed this person full-time. Whereas if we look at somebody that can join you part-time, you can set up a contract, you could do a short piece of work with them, and you could very quickly decide, is this really a person that you want to work with? This is really about reducing your risk, creating that resilient team, and with part-time staff, you can really ramp up quickly. Number five, part-time staff gives you access to niche skills. So what we mean by that? So what we mean is that if you needed, say, 3 or 4 or 5 different things, what we for somebody to do, what we often do is we look for one person to have all of those things in place. Now, again, they may well have a lot of those skills and may be fairly good at them, but would they be good at all of those? Chances are, most of the time, not. And this is where we want to look at making use of part-time staff where you can really leverage those niche skills easily. Number 6, it's easy to flex your team. It's easy to roll part-time staff off. Yes, that may be a good reason. Whether you're working well together or not, there's always an opportunity for people to work with your business for a certain period when you require them. So no guilt, no need for that. And they probably have other work to go to, particularly if they're part-time. So it's really good for them and it's really good for you. Number 7, agree flat fees. So see if you can work with staff that will agree flat fees for you. And this is great because rather than fees that vary, that don't allow you to budget, a flat fee is less confusing and everyone knows that there's a recurring revenue for them, and for you there's a recurring cost, so you can budget more effectively. Number 8, deeper experience. Now, what we mean by this is when we look at part-time staff and working with other customers, they will have a deeper sense of knowledge. So when you work with a part-time staff member, they're usually working with other customers, and that gives them a richer, more deeper knowledge and experience of not only your industry, but different ways businesses work, whether again they're starting up, maybe productizing their business, maybe making their teams hyper-productive, or looking at a way to scale. And number 9, managing the peaks and troughs. So increasing the ability for your business to respond to change by making use of part-time, a combination of part-time, maybe full-time staff, depending on where your business is. But in particular, part-time staff can allow your business to manage the peaks and troughs, particularly from a cost perspective and also from a execution capability to be able to ramp those teams up as quickly as possible. And then if work comes down, to ramp them down as well. Now, of course, there's many ways to do that, and we will talk about that at another time. Today, there are so many business models to make use of technology staff, everything from being able to spin up entire teams within a day through to being able to have expert staff join you just for a few days. Number 10, help to reduce the workloads of other workers. So if you've already got permanent staff, it's the other way around as well. Part-time staff can help you in those times where full-time staff can't handle the work. And that's really, really good. This will reduce your overtime costs perhaps when you've got a peak and help you prevent negative stress and fatigue of your staff. So that's also really, really helpful. So those are the 10 things. I hope you found that useful. The most important thing again is think about as a resilient team as a combination of full-time and part-time staff. And initially, you may even want to start with part-time staff only. Recognizing, of course, that if you have a lot of part-time staff, you may need some project management capability in there or some kind of coordination activity, either from yourself or from somebody else in your team. And we'll talk more about that in this series around managing the people part. Importantly, when it comes to staff, just as a side note, make sure you please understand both the tax implications and both the labour laws and rights around how you employ staff and what you need to abide by. So again, think about how you can not only build a resilient team by leveraging the expertise of many staff, both permanent and full-time, but also how you can create a team really fast. And that's what it's all about, particularly with those businesses that are really trying to scale up, are really trying to move forward, are really trying to make a difference. I was recently asked, well, how fast should we move? And I think, with any business, every day is a cost, every day is an opportunity to move forward, and every day is a new opportunity. So again, thanks for listening. I'm Torben Anderson, I'm the founder of Rewired, and I've been your host today for Rewired for Success. If you've enjoyed today's content, I really appreciate it, and I'd be honored if you would go over to your favorite podcast tool, search for Rewired for Success, subscribe, and write a review. Thank you so much again, and until next time, take care.